Johnny Marr is not a road tester.
Johnny Marr played guitar in the Smiths and continues to pursue a successful solo career.
But when Cars Group test of the new BMW X3, Audi Q5 and Mercedes GLC gatecrashes his latest video shoot in Manchester, Marr finds time to assist.
We've already decided that the BMW X3 has the best, most intuitive infotainment of the three midsize SUVs, but we're curious how easy it is to fathom for your average member of the public, or guitar god.
After tuning to Radio Manchester, we ask Marr if he can find BBC Six music under strictly timed conditions.
He jumps to the task like he's deciding between snipping the blue or the red wire with seconds to spare.
There are a couple of expletives and missteps as he presses iDrive's shortcut buttons and spins its rotary dial, but after 31.54 seconds, Morrissey's former writing partner hits Six music.
There's no doubt Marr's time would tumble given a little practice, he's already got the knack.
The Mercedes Command and Audi MMI infotainment systems are both very good, but you take your eyes off the road more than in the BMW.
The Audi's switches that border its rotary dial typically need a glance, and the touchpad that hovers over the Merc's command system dial is like another hand spurning your advances. And neither can match the BMW graphics visual punch.
Some might question the relevance of an inner-city location and celebrity infotainment test in a midsize luxury SUV review, but Audi devotes almost 4,000 words to technology in the Q5's press kit, and mentions off-road ability only fleetingly. Buyers want to sit up high in a stylish, spacious, comfortable car, and are typically more focused on inserting USB cables than toe eyes. X3, Q5 and GLC have arrived on the market in quick succession, closely matched for price, performance, efficiency and weight.
With 4-cylinder turbo diesel power, all cost around £40,000, duck under 1,800 kilograms, and offer about 200 bhp with mid-50s mpg and circa 130 grams/km CO2.
It underlines how competitive this segment, the fastest growing vehicle segment, really is.
But the reason we're here is the new BMW X3.
We drove it last month in Fantasy 30D and 40i trim, now we're testing the version likely to sell more in the UK than all the other shays put together, the X3 20D, priced from £38,880.
All UK models, unlike the previous generation, come with xDrive all-wheel drive. Most UK buyers will go for the M Sport variant like ours, which brings different 19-inch alloys, M-body styling, sports suspension, and fantastic sports seats. M Sport hikes the price to £41,070, but our test car lands at £48,655 with options, big-ticket items including adaptive LED headlights, adaptive dampers, head-up display and the comfort package, with acoustic glazing, keyless entry, anti-dazzle mirrors and more.
The BMW sport seats are semi to the floor, feeling snug and comfortable, the center console angled slightly towards the driver like BMWs of old, the gear lever inviting you to reach out and punch through the shifts manually, even though you need never do so.
So despite the raised ground clearance, you're immediately drinking in a kind of pseudo-sports car feel. These analog cues are brought bang into the digital age with strikingly rich and crisp graphics on both the standard infotainment screen, which you can touch or control via the rotary dial, and our car's optional digital dash.
It feels driver-focused, modern and very nicely screwed together. The extra 51mm in the new model's wheelbase keeps rear seat passengers happy too, with ample room for 5, though you need the comfort package to get our reclining rear seats.
You've also got 550 liters in the boot, or 1,600 liters with those rear seats folded flat, figures that best a 3 Series Touring by around 10%, and are again so suspiciously close to its rivals that the headmaster might want a word.
The Mercedes GLC 250D is a close match for the X3 at a base of £40,675.
It succeeds the GLK, which was never engineered for right-hand drive, but stretches that car's boxy SUV silhouette by 120mm, making it more of a raised estate car. The GLC rides on an adapted C-Class platform.
A sleek glass house underlines the effect, in stark contrast to the similarly estate-like BMW with its deeper window line.
Despite the visual stretch and the roomy rear seats, the Mercedes takes up the least parking real estate on test, if only by a smidge.
Finished in £895 worth of designer hyacinth red metallic and with the AMG line trim level that adds AMG body styling and 19-inch alloys among other treats, the GLC exudes gravitas and desirability.
Our car's running boards look a bit ridiculous, like they need a pair of vertical chromed tailpipes exiting behind the B-pillars, but they're optional.
The interior maintains the high-quality feel of recent Mercedes, with some exquisite detailing, the Burmester metal speaker grills that coil like a spirograph sketch, the precision feel of the metal switchgear, the jet engine air vents.
But in this company the analog dials and central infotainment screen look quite dated, the leather is fake and the rivals have better resolved dashboard architecture.
The center console in particular seems unnecessarily chunky given the relatively limited number of controls it houses.
And the infotainment screen still looks like it's been stuck on with a suction mount.
Neither do you get the sporty feel of the BMW, the Merc fielding relatively firm if still comfortable seats that offer less lateral support, and a column shift gear selector.
It's certainly pleasant though, with more than adequate head and knee room for adults in the back, and a good view out despite the slittier glasshouse.
Beneath its load floor, the boot also offers a generous concealed compartment, one that can be filled with gold bullion and locked.
Mercedes offers 2 outputs from its 2143cc 4-cylinder turbo diesel. The 220D, priced from £36,480, falls 20 bhp short of the others, but matches their 295 pounds-foot torque.
The 250D delivers the same 56.5 miles per gallon / 129 grams / km as a 220D, and edges a little ahead of its two rivals with 201 bhp.
And its 369 pounds-foot of torque is fully 74 pounds-foot ahead.
It's the GLC 250D we're driving, yours from 37,580 pounds but pushed to 40,675 pounds in our test car's AMG line trim.
On top, we've got 8,000 pounds of options.
The 3,000 pounds Premium Plus package adds the Burmester sound system, panoramic roof, upgraded command online infotainment and the promise you need only remove key from pocket when you wash your lederhosen.
The two next most substantial outlays go on the driving assistance package, 1,695 pounds, C-Box, P71, and full air suspension, 1,495 pounds.
The Merc's performance advantage is obvious on the road.
You don't need to look at the stats to know all 369 pounds-foot piles in from 1,600 revolutions per minute. You can feel it.
That flexibility carries through to the mid-range, providing effortless overtakes preceded by just a whiff of turbo lag.
Both the BMW and Audi are punchy, but neither can live with the Merc's mid-range urge, and the Audi in particular feels less enthusiastic from very low revs.
The Merc's 9-speed gearbox can feel a little non-committal in comfort simply because it glides between ratios so slickly. Sport adds a little more punch and definition to shifts, but the overwhelming sense is of a fairly soft, comfort-focused calibration.
Overall, it's the BMW's 8-speed automatic that takes transmission multitasking honors.
There's no disguising the GLC's 4-cylinder rattle at idle, but at typical speeds the engine slips quietly into the background, much like the Audi.
That's in stark contrast to the BMW, whose turbo whistles like Shaun Ryder at the start of Step On.
The BMW also strains the most vocally at high revs.
On its air suspension, the Merc is comfortably absorbent at a cruise, but it does rock about on its air springs.
Although the sport setting makes it firmer, in some ways it improves comfort because the body calms down.
That's how I tackle the M6, making this a refined, hushed place to spend a couple of hours.
Wind it up through some twists and turns and the Mercedes handles better than first impressions suggest, with a long-legged fluidity to the way it tackles switchbacks and cambers.
There's a good amount of squidge and body roll from its air suspension and Pirelli Scorpion Vert all-terrain tires, mind, but that can be used mischievously to make the GLC adjust its line through mid-speed corners.
Mostly when you breach the high limits it'll understeer and feel very much front-wheel drive, pulling you from the bend like the emergency services hauling you from a freezing lake. The direct steer system is far from unpleasant, but it delivers limited response from the dead ahead, then suddenly ramps up its rate of response, which isn't particularly natural.
The Audi Q5 is cheapest here at £40,290 in range-topping S-line trim, 19s, LED lights all around, sportier body styling, and to that Audi UK has added £5,500 of options, including the technology pack, which for £1,395 brings the 8.3-in display, mapping via Google Earth, and virtual cockpit, analog dials replaced by a configurable digital display.
We've also got the flat-bottomed steering wheel, 100 pounds, which seems almost pointlessly cheap, like an expensive hotel charging a $5 for breakfast.
Not essential, but we'd have pangs of regret if we didn't spec the whole lot.
Quattro is standard, but this is the Ultra version, which is often front-wheel drive. The Q5 almost sneaks up on you.
It gets the most evolutionary of design tickles versus the first generation, perhaps explained by the fact it's previously shifted 1.6 meters units and outsold the opposition.
Why mess with success?
It manages the trick of growing by 34 millimeters and shedding 90 kilograms since we last saw it, but it's like meeting a friend after a haircut they didn't really need and not immediately spotting the difference.